The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there a listing of any sort of restrictive content that may appear in the game. However, I do know for a fact that it does include violence, bloodshed, explosions, fire, and the death of people and various animals. So, if I were to guess as to what its rating would be, I would say either teen or mature. So, that being said, viewer discretion is advised, and I recommend that anyone under the age of 13 not watch the following video. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we are turning back to Rimworld. So the premise of Rimworld is that you're usually given a procedurally generated number of colonists with a procedurally generated number of traits, and on a procedurally generated map, you select a tile or location for them to land or enter into, at which point you then build them a colony for them to live in and thrive and grow. At which point, well, technically from the very beginning of the game, a preset AI storyteller, whom you select, uses procedural events to slowly kill off each and every one of them. So basically, this is a game of a lot of random number generation and positive and negative events based off of that in an attempt to essentially tell a story of your people and their fight for survival. Now, I say usually because the game that I've been filming and making episodes of and posting on the YouTube does still follow that same general procedurally generated formula. It's just, in addition to all of that, I'm role-playing my characters, or my colonists, I should say, as a team of heavily armed and armored space marines sent to the planet to fight the pirate faction that calls the planet home. It's been an interesting, I don't want to say ordeal, but it's been an interesting playthrough, mostly because at the very start it's the first time that I've actually had the royalty update installed for a significant gameplay period. Also, while as far as the game concerns, none of this is relevant, but I am playing an attempt to adhere to a variety of rules that I came up with to, I guess, make things a little bit more interesting, because to be fair, a lot of times with Rimworld, it's I play to a certain point, the exact same stuff happens, I get bored and I stop. I come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 months later and just simply restart from the very beginning and do the exact same thing all over again. So the added need to hunt down the pirate settlements to stay somewhat mobile, and various other restrictions that I have made for a slightly different playthrough, which, other than some randomly generated events, which I'm not really a fan of, has been, well, fun. And if you haven't seen any of the prior episodes, as usual, I will go over these special rules that I keep to and for myself, as well as a general update as to what's been going on with the colony. To be fair, I technically haven't been playing it since last episode, so it's right where I left off last time. It's like I never left. And with that said, all that's left is to say is that this game is, of course, made by. Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin.
Okay, so here is the colony. For some reason, a sheep has decided to sleep out in the open. And to be fair, it is the 6th of September, which is springtime in the lower half of the planet. So this is one of the two bases that I currently have and are using. This is the other one. So this is what I like to call FOB, or Forward Operating Base Chestling, to go with the whole Space Marine theme, whereas this is FOB Antioch. Now, if we go to the world map, Antioch is special in the fact that it used to be a pirate settlement. So if you saw from the very beginning first episode of the series, I airdropped, or I guess inserted via drop pod would be the official terminology. My strike team right here, and then they moved to hit this pirate settlement, took it over. I called it FOB Antioch, and then I moved up and hit this pirate settlement, took it out, and called it FOB. Well, I forget what exactly I called it, but basically, I then took it apart for parts and shipped everything back to Antioch. And then once everything was gone, I abandoned the site. So that actually plays into one of the special rules that I set for myself. While they are hunting the pirate faction, if we look at factions, the Black Sinners specifically, I can't leave anything behind that anybody else could use. So if I take a settlement, I either have to burn it down or strip it for parts and send everything back to my base. The same is if I have to abandon Chestling for some reason. I would have to either burn every resource every asset of mine that's there, or pack it up and take it with me. Another rule set that I have, and while technically this is actually part of the game itself, if I go to quests, one of the active quests that starts very soon is Ship to the Stars, where, at least in standard game lore, a friendly AI has left a ship about halfway around the playable world, and you have the option to set out on this large migratory quest to get from where you start to where the ship is. And I would assume, mainly because I've never actually done that myself in any other playthrough, that once you get there, you have to repair the ship or in some way augment it, so that way it takes everybody. And then you turn it on, defend it as it turns on, and once it's fully on, everybody piles in, and you launch it, and it leaves, and you technically win the game. For storyline purposes, that's generally the exact same amount of stuff that I expect to do, but for thematic reasons, I consider it actually the evac ship for the mechanized infantry combat team that I dropped onto the planet, which is the official designation for my strike team. It was a group of 10 people. They've hired, or basically recruited, 5 more people? 4 more people. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, anybody not in powered armor currently is recruit.
So it's a 14-strong colony spread out amongst two different people, well, two different bases, I should say. And I am not finding the ship to the stars. So if I jump to the ship and set that there, okay, I gotta remember, it's to the west of the Rimworld Barrens. But anyway, if I go all the way down, let's say somewhere around here is Chesling. Now, every time I set up this route planner, it's always taking me a different route. In fact, I think last episode it took me off this way. And so this time it's going to take 45.3 days to travel down, across, and around, and then back up. Now, as I said, thematically, I'm supposed to be hunting the pirates. So whatever route I eventually do end up taking, every pirate stronghold that's on the way gets attacked, looted, and burned, assuming everybody survives to, well, win. So, like for instance, if I was taking this route, all these settlements would be fine, although I might go out of my way to hit this one just simply because, well, maybe not. I was gonna say, because it was close, but it doesn't look really all that close. But say this one would definitely get attacked because it's practically on the route. Maybe that one as well. Possibly that one. Certainly these 4, well 5. This one definitely because it is on the route. Maybe that one. And then they go back up and probably attack this settlement. And then this, well, not this. Maybe that one or this one. And then finally get to the ship. At which point, I turn it on, defend it as needed, see if I can augment it or equip it with enough cryostasis chambers to fit however many people I have left at that point. At which point, I leave and the game is over. Assuming, of course, everybody survives that long. To be fair, this is episode somewhere above a dozen, and I've gone from being not able to find my settlements, and I've gone from initially here to there. So not much movement so far, although to be fair, I've never done this sort of thing before, so I don't think I was prepared as I should have been for a fast-moving quick strike group. So that's one of the special rules that I have to restrict myself, technically 2 of them. Another one is if I go back to the faction screen, there are a whole bunch of factions that are neutral, a whole bunch of factions that start out hostile, and then of course the Black Sinners. So another rule that I have is that I can't go to war with anybody I'm not already at war with. So like for instance, the Refugee Empire, Lehane Federation, and the Camelusi Pact are all neutral, and following this rule mindset, I can't actually fight any one of these. So any quest that says attack the Refugee Empire or destroy something from the Camelusi Pact, or this villager is fleeing from people from the Lehane Federation, if you join them, then you go to war with the Lehane Federation. I can't accept any of those quests. And while I am technically at war with the Kotor-Ken League, the Grey Goose Boko, and the Kanto Alliance, as well as the Black Sinners, I'm not actually out to destroy anybody but the Black Sinners. So while I'll fight off raids and possibly assault their villages or any other quest that requires being hostile to somebody I'm already hostile with, that's fine. I just can't do that with anybody that's neutral. Another thing that I can't do is accept goodwill. So if you've ever played the royalty faction, any quest from the Imperial faction, or I guess it's only in factor of the Imperial faction, usually gives what's known as goodwill or royal favor. I'm sorry, not goodwill. You'd think after playing this so often I remember what all the terminology is, but I don't. Anyway. So royal favor increases the favorability with that faction, and as you gain more royal favor, whoever gains the favor increases in rank. And eventually, another way to win and get off planet is that if you get enough royal favor, you can invite the emperor of the fallen refugee empire, whatever it's called. The refugee empire is just the name for the current empire, although it is fitting given the fact it is a shattered empire. But the shattered empire faction, the leader of that, in which case Maurice Nospo, can visit your settlement for a time, and if he likes what you're doing and all that fun stuff, he can take you on as part of your retinue, at which point all of your colonists travel with him. And that's one way to get off planet and win. Because in addition to role-playing my colonists as a bunch of space marines, I am also role-playing them as part of a interstellar government known as the Commonwealth. And one of the rules of the Commonwealth is that you can't work for other factions in that way. So no royal favor for me, and while I can accept quests from the Shattered Empire, it's got to be for stuff. So I don't think this is a Shattered Empire quest. This is just some random AI quest that wants me to build a monument. But if this was a quest from the Shattered Empire, instead of saying your reward will be royal favor of X amount, it's always going to be stuff. And I actually reset it so that way. Yeah, that's the Royal Ascent quest. But yeah, here, see, so Praetor, this old quest that I once did, Praetor Marcos Kuspala of the Refugee Empire wanted me to build a monument, and what I could have done was do the monument quest for royal favor, and but because of my extra rule set, I did it for, I gotta be honest, I forget exactly what I did it for, but it was one of these two things. I don't think I did it for goodwill. Probably should, though. I mean, if I look right here, my standing with the Refugee Empire is actually lower than the other two neutral factions. And in a world where everybody's trying to kill you for your meat... No, I don't mean foodstuffs. I mean people trying to kill your colonists to eat them. No, it's probably best to have friends. Alright, so that's the predominant rules that I remember. If I come up with or remember something else, I'm sure I'll just add it to the list. But for right now, where I left Chestling, which is still technically in development, I have the barn done, a large pile of power supply done, the standards, the resource storage shed done, as well as the greenhouse. And because everybody's fighting for a living on... and being angry for living in and around the dirt-covered, puke and blood-stained floor that is the communal barracks right now, I'm in the process of finishing up the barracks, which has had issues, but it's almost done. In fact, all I have to do is finish these walls and floor everything, and then I can put in furniture, and then everybody can be not ticked off at each other. And then this can become the dining room that was originally intended to be. Then I'll have a rec room here, medical facilities here, armory here, crafting facility here, prison here. This is a monument that one quest that I need to build, so probably also going to try to work more towards this one then. And also the defensive perimeter, which I probably should have built first, but I didn't. Then on top of that, I have to somehow ship what's left of the supplies here at Antioch to Chestling, as well as take apart all of this stuff and move on. Or, like I said, just simply burn it down. I do have... I could have sworn I had... maybe I moved it to Chestling already, but I could have sworn I had a flamethrower. Still here. It's a knife. That's a Silink Neuroformer. That's a spear, I believe. So, fun stuff. Anyway. So, with that in mind, let's begin. And an alpaca has given birth. Okay. It is in the middle of the night, so everybody's asleep, and I think I know why some of the animals are not sleeping in the barn. All the, I have so many animals now that all of the sleeping spots have been taken. So I just simply need more... Oh, new quest available. Anyway, more sleeping spots. I think I'd be able to just simply drag and drop, but no, I can't. Do I want one there? Probably not. Alright, I should probably move this door because it's in the way. Sure, of course, I probably should also floor the barn. So I'm just looking and I realize it's all dirt. It's also blood covered. And probably would be covered in puke, but my people don't actually live in the barn. Give it time though, and I'm sure somebody will eventually vomit all over the floor. Alright, hopefully that'll be enough sleeping spaces for now. Also, move these rocks. And get rid of these. Alright, so what's this quest? Hunter lacks ranged weapon. Of course they do. Equip this chain shotgun for now. That just happens to be lying on the ground. Okay, so nearby settlement, Theniape has a special request. We'd like to purchase 13 Ikawa of normal plus quality, worth 1,534. And if you want to make the trade and send a caravan request time, the estimated travel time is 1.4 days. And it expires in 7.1 days. I don't know if... Alright, so, and I can accept it for 365 gold, uranium plate armor, that's at masterwork level, or 40 goodwill. And it's all the way up there. This trader will only buy meat. Interesting. Of course, it is set to food. Now, it is 1.4 days as the road travels. Problem is... The problem is I don't have... What? That's not it. I don't have 13 Iqawa of normal plus quality. In fact, I barely have... I got 3. That one's poor, this one's poor. Yeah, all of them are poor, and all of them were taken from raiders that tried to attack this settlement. And failed, I should point out. This guy's still dead. This is that one. I just realized a whole pile of dead bodies just lying around. Huh. Okay. Of course, everybody's injured and everybody's asleep and healing. I don't think anybody's in danger right now. At least at Antioch. Memory serves, at the very end of the last episode, they got attacked. Also, one of my settlers a couple episodes ago tried to leave, and I wasn't having that. So I arrested them, and the only place I had to keep them was the kitchen. So that's why this person, Minoka's right here. And due to lack of maintenance, Colonist has lost a skill attack. Oh, Cornet, not Colonist. So because they couldn't, I didn't have the resources or personnel to keep training all my animals, because I have lots of animals and very little resources to keep them trained, one of my donkeys has lost one of his abilities. Good to know. Ram 32 is being attacked by a lynx. Well, darn. Everybody over this way. We're not saving the ram. I will point that out because it just died. Plus, all my people are usually too far away to actually save the animal in question whenever this happens. But what they can do is once everybody gets over here, Jet has gone on a murderous rage. Who is he trying to kill? He is trying to kill Sky. Where is Sky? Seriously, where is Sky? Well, Sky's with everybody else. Okay. At which point, kill the lynx. Alright, and Jet is where? Seriously, where is he? Oh, there he is. Alright, everybody beat up on Jet. Alright, so he's now injured. Somebody ripped off his right big toe. Okay then. Grab that. Instant Sky is technically the healer. Even though he tried to kill her, she's going to rescue him. And she's also going to heal him. So he's going to be slipping it off. We should probably haul his gun to somewhere. Bowman is fully healed. Bowman is off at Antioch still. So Chief is cutting stone. Bowman is consuming a simple meal. Blue is cleaning dirt, and Jenny is still resting. So no one is... Do I actually have anybody who can build anything? Construction 2, Construction 3, Construction 1, Construction 1. Alright, well I guess cleaning up the dirt and blood is probably important, so we're going to have Chief here dig graves. Because I still have like 5 bodies just lying around. Finish the graves and then you can play horseshoes. Although I shouldn't probably shouldn't force him. Packer 27 has returned to the wild because of lack of training. Yeah, it's going to happen more often than not. Lincoln has gotten food poisoning. Alright, well, I had a chief directly dig all these graves because I'm fairly certain I dug these graves 3 raids ago, and they haven't been finished, and all the bodies from that raid mysteriously disappeared. Because I think at the time I had a bunch of animals here due to toxic plume at Chestling. Was it toxic plume? It was for some reason at Chestling. I had to have all the animals leave. I think it was winter. It was either toxic plume or it was winter and the animals didn't have any food. I think it was winter and the animals didn't have any food because I would have just simply packed everybody up and taken them back to Antioch at that point. Of course, they're also out of wood. And Jenny's now wandering about in the days because of a poor mood. And because I don't have any wood for the wood fire generators, all the power that's being generated by the solar panels runs out halfway through the night. And Jet locks a ranged weapon. Is his ranged weapon still down here? Yes, it is. And it's actually gone down from 99% quality to 96 on account of nobody bothered to pick it up. And there we go. Alright, so Lincoln is suffering from a major break risk because he's angry and in intense pain.
Also has been living in an awful barracks and doesn't like the environment, which is basically dirt covered in blood, debris, and puke. Can't blame him for that. So while the main hallway of the barracks is basically going to be wooden flooring, the actual rooms will be carpet, assuming they can actually be bothered to finish the walls first. Now Lincoln's only suffering from a major break risk as opposed to extreme, and it looks like they actually harvested all of the rice, of which the animals probably just ate. Alpaca 28 has returned to the wild due to lack of training. And now these guys are running out of power. Also need a research project, apparently. Well, let's just go with deep drilling. Do I need... No, I just need the high-tech research bench. I was going to say, do I need the multi-analyzer for ground-penetrating radar? Because deep drilling is one way to find new resources. Alright, Alpaca 1 has returned to the wild, and a group of travelers, Lean Federation, are passing by it. Alpaca 16 has given birth, and I have 2 major break risks, and there's a corpse of a dead rat right here, for reasons not fully shared with me. Okay. And a whole bunch of people are bored. Monument is missing blueprints. Everybody's suffering from tattered apparel because all their powered armor is wearing out. I need more recreation, which I probably should have thought of and worked more towards. Oh well. Alright, so... I mean, I'm not seeing any new... I'm not seeing any new traders, but I think they're just passing through. Usually if a trader had stopped by to, sell or buy things, it would have come up right down here, and then somebody would have had a question mark by their name. And a grizzly bear is attacking Alpaca 45. Okay then. Everybody over this way. I'm guessing the alpaca's already dead. Alright. As usual, kill him. More food for us. Then everybody goes to bed. Eventually they're going to run out of things to build and they'll get the barracks done. Eventually. Of course, it does also need power as well, but once I get the actual barracks built, then I'll string it for power and put in furniture. Oh, U11 has given birth. Goody. Also, this heater's broken, and now the crop plants are... The corn plants, I should say, are blighted. All of them are blighted. Okay, then. Well, in that case... Cut all the plants down. Well, yeah, just cut all the plants down. Probably shouldn't cut down the healthy ones. But I got a feeling that by the time they actually cut these down, the blight would probably spread to the potatoes and other areas. On the plus side, one roof's done, even if Lincoln puked all over half of it. And now power is increasing. Yep, the blight has spread to these potatoes as well. And this strawberry plant.
And this corn plant. And this strawberry plant. And this potato plant, and then these corn plants, and this corn plant, and that corn plant, and this one, and this one, and this one. Can we cut the plants first before planting new ones, please? Because these are now blighted. Alright, got them all. Except, I think that's just vomit and blood. Yeah, that's just vomit and blood. Okay, moving on. They now have 3 rooms complete, and the outer wall is done. Okay, then. Okay, so I know several of my people are actually married to each other, so if I want the biggest bang for the smallest buck, I should probably focus on married couple rooms first, because I can fit 2 people per room in there. So Ophelia and Lincoln are married, and that means that they get the first room, the double bed right here, appropriate because I'm fairly certain Lincoln puked all over the floor here. They also need a dresser. Which will go here. And a couple of end tables, I believe. It's a stool. More comfortable must be placed directly adjacent to the head of the bed. There's more than one table near the same bed has no effect. Alright, well, we'll just put 2 end tables right here because it's a married couple's bed. And, There's a small comfort bonus for all nearby beds. Placing more than one dresser near the same bed has no effect. Okay, so I don't have to put the wooden dresser directly next to the bed. Okay, so that's Ophelia and Lincoln squared away. Well, eventually. So he's married to Ophelia. Hercules is married to Sky. Tater and Bowman are lovers. Who's this? Stanislav and Yoko are married. Yeah. Yuko is not married and doesn't have a lover. And, who is Cassian Olicopedia? Because apparently Mushunto has her as a fiancé. And apparently they're of the Refugee Empire. So apparently he's promised to marry somebody I probably have not actually met. Because the game works like that. I can't remember how. I can't count the number of times I've mysteriously had characters, parents, and siblings just magically show up out of the blue, usually as enemies trying to kill them. Because they show up as part of a raiding team. And then they end up dead. So it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so Ophelia and Lincoln go here, Hercules and Sky here, Stanislav and Yoko here, and then probably Tater and Bowman when Bowman finally gets over here, and then I also have Blue and Chief as lovers, so they'll go here. And then everybody else just gets their own separate rooms. Also, these tables are now built. How much stone do I have of what? Sandstone. So this entire monument is going to be built out of sandstone. So these go here. These go here. All this moves. this moves. Yeah, and once these monuments are up, I'll build the walls and the doors. Hopefully by then the barracks will be done. Packet 29 has given birth. And they have completed 3 dressers, 2 end tables, and no beds. Okay. And lack of taming maintenance, Yak 7 and Squirrel 1 have returned to the wild, and something about Blue and Chief. I'm guessing they decided to get married. Or they did get married. Okay. Okay, so 1 bed is done. So, I'd say it would be Ophelia and Lincoln, I believe. Yep, Ophelia and Lincoln. Okay. The next one is Hercules and Sky, although technically I said it'd be this room, but as I said, it goes to whichever room gets done first. So let's say Hercules and Sky. Yeah. And then this is the blood puke. Everything's covered in blood and puke over here. Why are they making penicillin? I think they just picked it up. The only build that I have is them making Butcher Creature and probably make kibble. So do... Alright, so I'm going to set up the kibble build to make 300 kibble until, well, to make up to 300 kibble. Hopefully that'll be enough to feed all the pets. And once the kibble drops down below 200, they go back to making more. And I'll let them use whatever resources they have. It does not help the fact that I only have... It requires, I believe, both 1 meat and 1 plant ingredients, and I don't really have plant ingredients. I don't really have meat ingredients now that I look at it. Wrong button. I mean, I can hunt back Yak 7. Try to tame him, even though I don't really have any food to tame him with. A bunch of bison, a whole bunch of donkeys. Let's try to retame these, my old alpacas. A whole bunch of bucks. And another lynx. Now I'll leave Squirrel 1 alone. Well, let's hunt the bucks. And the deer. And these tortoises. And any alpaca that doesn't have their name, number after their name, as well as the donkeys. Yeah, okay. Oh, so let's wire everything up for power. Told it's best to have the wires inside the walls as opposed to just sitting out, although to be fair, I don't really like having basically extension cords from the lights going into the walls, but yeah, people are angry enough as it is. Might as well take as many bonuses as I can get. Of course, it doesn't help the fact they didn't actually connect the power supply to the actual grid. We'll go there, we'll go there, as well as here. Then I'll connect elsewhere as, well, more buildings get built. And everybody goes a-hunting. Alright, so Minoko only has 7 resistance remaining.
I'm not entirely certain exactly how resistances and the like work. I just know that every time you grab a prisoner, either by raider taken, that survives their raid and taken prisoner, former would-be colonists tries to leave or gets angry enough to try to actually do bad things and has to be arrested to stop them, or you buy slaves, or any other means of prisoners. I know that you have the ability to recruit them. You can also release or execute them. And with the, I don't remember if it was part of a major update before the royalty expansion, or it came with the royalty expansion. But now there's a resistance number, and the higher resistance, I believe, affects the recruitment difficulty and recruitment chance. So it's generally a good idea, at least in my opinion, to reduce resistance until that's 0, at which point I believe you have a 100% chance of actually recruiting them. And once that happens, Minoka should be able to rejoin the colony. And 3 rooms are completely done. Well, sort of. Also, somebody's throwing a party. Party has been called off. Mushinto has been calling a party. Don't know why. Probably because every random stuff has happened. Monument's missing a blueprint. What blueprint? Monument marker. I mean, it's missing several blueprints. I'm working on it piecemeal. Meanwhile, everything's strumming along in Antioch, and I just realized this quest is... Yeah, I'm not building 13 Ikawa, however you pronounce that name, of normal or better quality in about 4 days. Although, if that's just to accept the quest, I don't know how long I have until, well, it would normally expire if I do accept it. Okay, so it would actually expire in 19 days. Still not getting it done. Because the only place I have to actually build things is down at Antioch. And no one's really making anything. Yeah. I have to do it at the blacksmith. Once the barracks and the monument are done, I'll probably work on the crafting hall. Actually, no, I'll probably work on the rec room just simply because everybody's recreation starved, and then the crafting hall. And then once I manage to move all of my crafting equipment back over here, the people who are actually skilled in crafting can start making things. And somebody is low on food. Can't be Chesling because they have 117 bars of food, whereas Antioch only has 9. So there is an injured warg right here. Apparently got bruised by being hit in the head by a donkey. So since wargs are incredibly dangerous creatures, let's gather everybody, shoot the thing, and now it's dead. I don't think anybody got injured. If they did, it would have been Jenny because it was right in front. And this is actually... No, I was going to say this is still alive, but no, it's not. Anyway, now that the warg is dead, let's go after these stallions, as well as these donkeys and alpaca, and these ibexes, and these tortoises, and these raccoons. I'll leave the boomalope and the boom rat alone because they die, they explode, and there's also a grizzly bear here, so... As well as a whole pile of... That's a warg corpse, wild boar. As well as a whole pile of corpses just sitting around. Not dead here. Random pile of steel just sitting there. U3 has given birth. Goody. So hopefully that should take care of their food problems, at least in the short term. And Donkey has gone off to cause revenge.
Didn't take the rest of the herd if there was still a donkey herd with it, so I guess they're good. And Sky is confused because she's suffering from dementia. Okay. Of course, the one problem with having everybody do everything is that if there's too many tasks to do, they focus on different priorities than what I really want them to do. For instance, I would like them to finish the barracks. And they now ran out of power again. And I don't have the components to build anything else. Okay. Lincoln is suffering from an extreme break risk. And because he's recreation starved mostly. And cargo pods have dropped. And they have dropped corn. Okay. More food for Antioch. Jenny has suffered from food poisoning, and Tater has decided to hide in his room due to poor mood because he's greedy for an impressive bedroom. And everybody has gotten a bedroom except him. Which, to be fair, is only about, like, 6 people. And apparently, what is he doing right now? He's relaxing socially and probably having some choice words with Lincoln. Lack of taming maintenance, Yakka at 9 has returned to the wild. Hercules has successfully tamed an alpaca. Bowman has gotten food poisoning. This is still broken, but then again, I haven't really had a chance to fix it. At least this is mostly lit now. Mostly. Is there a lamp right here? Power conduit? I guess no lamp. Okay. Because nothing says efficient power generation than an extra lamp without any extra power generators. Speaking of power generators, I don't have to go with just solar power. Of course, I don't have any components to actually build anything else. Oh joy. Oh well. Chief has gotten food poisoning. Okay. Tater is no longer hiding in his room. Okay, good. And Minoko's resistance is now down to 5.6. And all the lamps start turning on. And Minoka is now wandering around in a psychotic state because her prison, which is also the kitchen, is a dirt-floored, blood-stained, puke-ridden mess. Yeah. Yeah, I really should be doing better at this. But I'm not. Progress is slow, but ever progressing. And a yak is pregnant. At least at full generator power, everything is slowly charging. As a wolf eats the berries. Minor break risk. Monument's missing more parts. But I did finish one large stele. And Blue has been afflicted with shooting frenzy due to high mood. And Jenny has gotten food poisoning. Even though I think she's actually the cook as well as the doctor. Nope, Blue's actually the cook. And Hercules has successfully tamed yet another animal. I did not read which one it was. He's also suffering from major break risk. Husky 2 and Yak 3 have given birth. Okay. And another large stele has been complete. And Stein has decided to enact its revenge against who? Bowman, probably. Okay, so you go over here. Everybody join her. Or not. Everybody over here now, come on. Alright, and Bowman is now down, so feel free to shoot the stallions. Feel free to shoot the stallions. Feel free to shoot them. Thank you. Alright. Alright, so how badly is Blue injured? She's in no immediate danger. Technically, neither is Bowman. Okay. And we now have 2 horses worth of meat. If people would bother to go and pick them up. Although they decided to... Well, Chief has decided to go and play poker instead. Blue is self-tending, apparently. Quest expired, someone's salvation. Yeah, I forgot about him. Wasn't planning on doing it anyway. Thought I actually canceled that, or at least said no. And a third large stele is done. So what's left is this 4th one, as well as the 2 grand ones. And Bowman is no longer incapable of walking. Okay then, because her gun's still on the ground. Go and pick that up. And then you can go to bed. And another yak is pregnant. And we're still running between negative and positive power with, well, the sun lamp's off. On the plus side, they do have kibble, so hopefully they stop eating the meals and other food. In fact, I'm actually going to prevent the pets from wandering about in the fridge. Because now they have kibble, they should be somewhat fine. Yep, they now have more kibble. Which an alpaca decides to eat. You can eat grass, there's no need to eat the pet's kibble. In fact, who else isn't part of the animal group that should be? Why is Ram 18 injured? Got in a fight with a lynx, apparently. Okay then. 1, apparently. So. Because if the ram didn't win, it would be dead. Alright, so I got 1 thing of smoke leaf brewing, as well as wood. Noka's no longer wandering about in a psychotic state. The hop plants are rather almost fully grown. Durstrand is well growing slowly. Cotton is growing fairly well. They are in the middle of harvesting the heel root, as well as a whole bunch of rice is almost close to being grown. Potato plants still require field to be resown, and what's left of the cornfield after the blight is about halfway, and what had to be reclaimed from the blight is at almost 20%. Thereabouts. So they are growing crops, so hopefully I no longer have to worry about food at FOB Chesling. And they're also growing quite a bit of hay grass as well. Move all of this stuff out. Definitely need more power generating units. Just simply because going at full tilt, it's barely charging the batteries. Which means as soon as the solar plants stop working due to nighttime or eclipse, they're going to quickly run out of power. Alright, and the last large stele is done. Apparently it counts as art too. Okay, so the art for this large stone stele is entitled Murder Number 4XII6. So 4,136. So the furniture bears a representation of a cloud of ash and smoke underneath an intimidating cloud. A large group of deer flee the area. The scene takes place on the outskirts of an encampment. This representation relates to Stanislav's town being menaced by a deadly flash storm on the 2nd of September, 5503, which was about 9 days ago. Okay, so in this one is Contemplative Misery. The furniture is engraved with a representation of a bamboo tree. The work is shaded in hues and green of green and blue. Really should read what's there. This one is entitled Red Ibis, where an engraving on this furniture is shaped like a stallion, brutally knocked unconscious, soldiered Bowman Lucas with a horse seemingly without remorse. Bowman looks mindful. This illustration tells the story of the incapacitation of Bowman with a horse on 10th of September, 5503. So it's basically when Bowman was hunting her horse, they decided to fight back, and she got her butt kicked. How Tater over at Chesling knows what happened at Antioch 1 day ago, I'm not certain, but that's how the game works. I mean, it is technically the future, so they probably communicated things. And then this last large stone stele. The art on this one is a used circolide. Not certain how you pronounce that word. Anyway, an engraving on this furniture represents a ewe giving birth to a ram, who's already trying to pull himself around. 9 parrots sleep peacefully nearby. The image is bordered by 4 machine persona avatars. The image somehow expresses both hardship and unrest. The image refers to the ewe giving birth to the ram on the 13th of December, 5502. Okay then. I'm told art is subjective. I am not an artist. I can barely draw. And power starts fluctuating again because, as I said, what little nighttime power generators I have can barely charge anything, or at least they can't while the sun lamps are still lit. And another ewe has given birth, and Lincoln has gotten food poisoning as he starts working on the sandstone grand stele. So what's this? But that's probably another sarcophagus. And he's going to take a while because he has over 1,200 work left. And he works while puking. Okay then. How many days left do I have for this quest? I got 28 days left, so... I mean, I guess they're doing well. Got most of the monuments done. This one's part of the way done being built. This one's hasn't even been started yet, I don't think. And all that's left is the sarcophagus, the floor, and the walls. So I think the monuments are going to be the hardest things to build because they take forever. Unfortunately, I'm not able to just simply pick up another stele from somewhere else, drag it over here, and then just use that like I do with the tables. And deep drilling is now finished, so I can build deep drills for extracting resources from underground. You need a ground penetrating scanner to find the resources. If I go to, so I guess that's the next thing I research. Why I need to research the scanner after the drill, I don't know when I need the drill with the scanner. You would think it would make more sense to research the scanner and then the drill. But I'm sure there's a reason behind the how it works, so. Yoko's gotten food poisoning, and a Labrador Retriever is pregnant. And because all the builders are currently working on the monument, no one's continuing work on the barracks. And Mushuto has successfully tamed an alpaca. So one more alpaca joins the flock. Or herd. I think it's herd. I have a bed right here. Interesting. And Lincoln's suffering from a major break risk. And another Labrador Retriever is pregnant. Another Ram, and Ram 18 is now fully healed. On the plus side, the hallway's done. So all they got to do is, Lincoln is now wandering about in a daze. So all they got to do is carpet the rest of the floors and then build furniture. Although, that's sheep wool, alpaca wool. They aren't working on the carpets because they don't have cotton. Or cloth, I should say. They have over 12,000 units of leather, 20 of hyperweave, 715 muffalo wool, over 10,000 alpaca wool, over 9,000 sheep wool, but no cotton. And as far as I know, cotton cloth instantly gets made from cotton. And as far as I know, I can't make floor carpets out of anything but cloth. Okay then. So that is probably the main reason why they aren't building the barracks. And so you know what, let's just put in furniture and move people in. I'll worry about the floors later. So I already have Ophelia and Lincoln in here, Stanislav and Yoko here, Hercules and Sky here. So that's 6 people done with. Blue and Chief are at the other encampment, so I should probably focus on so this will be Tater and Bowman when she finally moves to Cheslin. Now I can't really tell if the front of the dresser's facing the wall or not. I don't think it really matters. Mostly because there's no way to change the camera as far as I know. Alright, so that'll be for Tater and Bowman. And this one will be... I know I said I don't have to worry about Blue and Sky, but I might as well have all the married couples in close proximity. So this will be Blue and Chief's. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I would need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll go down here, and then these 3 remaining rooms will be for... Eventually Minoka will rejoin. So... Dressers go here. And then... end tables. On a plus side, 1 Grand Stele is almost complete. They are suffering from Judge is suffering from major break risk. Yoko is suffering from minor break risk. Lincoln is... Actually, I don't know if Lincoln's still in the daze. I guess not, because he's asleep. No, it actually flags him as still in a daze. Okay. But he's asleep in his daze. Blue is now fully healed, Amir is pregnant, and relationships with the Lehane Federation has deteriorated from 56 to 50, just simply because it does that. Someone else has a major break risk, and once again, Antioch is low on food. Even though they do have several things of meat that they can turn into food. Mishinto has successfully tamed another alpaca. His lack of training and maintenance, Alpaca 17 has returned to the wild. Bring it back into the fold, if you would be so kind. And they've actually made over 300 kibble. That was actually fast. Would have thought it would take more. An alpaca is pregnant. Okay. And what I should do is I should turn the hay grass into a similar type of field like the greenhouses. But they require sun lamps, and I barely have enough power to power everything as it is. In fact, I mean, sun is rising again, so. But yeah, even with everything on, I barely have enough power to power everything. And people are still bored. You know what? After the barracks, I'll build the rec facility. Somebody move these rocks. And Bowman is now fully healed. And there is a raid from the Kanto Alliance at Antioch. Well, I guess it's a good thing everybody's fully healed, because they're about to go to war. Everybody over here. There's what, 3 of them? 4. And the Kanto Alliance, I believe, is the Savage tribe. So they're basically fighting with bows and arrows. Okay, so in that case, Bowman, who has the railgun, goes here. Jenny goes here. I'll put Blue here, and then Chief, well, here. And they're just gonna sit there. So I guess we go to them. Probably a bad idea. I've seen what bows can do to people in this game. But I don't feel like waiting. And Bowman should probably not be in front, but I'll let her fire off a round and then move. In fact, everybody take cover behind trees. And Jenny has been injured. She'll be dead in 6 hours because she took an arrow clean to the heart. She'll now be dead in 5 hours. Alright, so she's going to move over here. Going to have her now, it would be nice if I could actually order her to self-tend, but at best she can only rest. Anyway, one of them's down. And Chief will be dead in 9 hours. Blue sneak around this way. No, other side of the tree. Other side of the tree. And tribespeople from the Kanto Alliance are beginning their assault. I have news for you guys. They've been assaulting. And third person's now dead. And that's all. Okay. Unless there's more I don't know about. Nope, it's just the one group by the looks of it. Okay, so we managed to survive, and so that's an oak tree. Chief will be dead in 8 hours. Bowman is fine. Blue is uninjured. And 4 people are now dead. Well, 4 raiders, I should say, are now dead. I'll take their bows. I'd strip them of their clothes as well, but to be honest, I just end up with tainted clothes, and you can't sell them. People don't like wearing them. It's like there's not much point. But that does mean I need 4 more graves into the ever-increasing... miscellaneous. Graveyard. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did Jenny bother to self-tend to herself? No, she did not. Okay, then. Blue is, I think, also another doctor. Alright, so Priority is tending to Jenny because she didn't tend to herself. And she'll be dead in 4 hours if you don't. I really should have the med supplies close to the, well... hospital. Medical facility, I should say. Alright, and then she's tending to Chief, who will be dead in 6 hours. And Bowman, as I said, took a couple hits, but she'll be fine. The advantage of wearing powered armor. The shaman merchant from the Camelusi Pact is approaching. Okay, I mean, it looks like they have elephants. It's also at Antioch, and, well, pretty much everybody's injured. Who is good at social? Bowman has 2, Blue has 2, Chief has 2, Jenny has 3. Who is suffering from a medical emergency? Well, he was. Now he's fine. Well, he will be fine. Unless the game decides to give him an infection, in which case, who knows. Have Jenny talk, even though she's basically walking wounded. Alright, so Jenny cannot talk properly because of poor health. This will affect trade prices. Considering a healthy negotiator, the only other person I have is Blue, and she doesn't talk as well. Let's see, they're selling 3 different elephants, all female. So, even if I bought 2, I wouldn't be able to get more, and they cost, well, quite a bit. They also have some penicillin, no components, some one herbal medicine, some cyclate tea, some other kinds of drugs. Why did I pick up go juice? You know what, I'll sell that. That's pretty much all that I have, so I'll just sell the go juice, which I picked up from somewhere. And then she's going to eat food. Chief is no longer incapable of walking, and Bowman is now fully healed. And a Mechloid cluster has landed nearby. The cluster remained dormant, as you can take time to decide how to attack it. Where is it? Oh. It is literally right outside where the defensive perimeter would be. That's an auto-inferno turret, auto-mortar, an auto-charge turret. Well, on the plus side, I'm assuming this is the inside range of the mortar. They should be inside the range of the mortar. Yeah, okay, so we're going to have all the animals cower in the safe area. Alright, everybody goes hide there. Everybody else gets in here. And Sky is now confused because the game said so. Okay. Where is Sky right now? So Sky is further away. Hopefully she doesn't wander into the fight. And the closest door is actually out here. So this used to be easier with artillery. Alright, so everybody is... hit this thing. Okay, so a couple people are on fire. Everybody will go here. Shoot this. Shoot that. Okay, Yoko is running in the wrong direction. You go there. Shoot that. This is a good thing they worked right next door. Shoot that. And, yeah. Alright, so let's try this again. And as I've been known to say, as long as the game cheats, I will stack the deck in my favor. So it looks like they don't actually do anything. Set ground projectiles, charge cycle 10 days. I mean, they don't do anything until this proximity activator activates. So until I enter this area, they are dormant. So until then, yeah. Sneak over here. And shoot this thing. Okay, this centipede's taking forever to die. And I have people on fire, and Yoko is basically lying on the ground. Everybody shoot that. Everybody shoot that. Or not. Just get out of the way. Or, no, that works. Shoot that. Then this thing. Everybody form up over here. That way we don't shoot people in the back of the head. And then shoot that as well. Okay, so I think everything is dead now. No, there's one still there's one turret still left. Rescue Yoko. In fact, actually, who's the healer? Sky is, of course, the healer, so... No, Tater's also a healer as well. So also have... Tater will be dead in 6 hours. Hercules is in no immediate danger. Neither is Lincoln or... Ophelia will be dead in 24. Stanislav is in no immediate danger. Yuko is in no immediate danger. Neither is Mushinto or Jet. Sky fell into a daze, so she didn't even take part in the fight. And Yoko will be dead in 5 hours if nothing else happens. So... we have Tater rescue Yoko. And someone's chain shotgun is on fire. Probably Yoko's. So put that out if you would be so kind. Right, who else is bleeding to death? Alright,
Ophelia is also bleeding to death, so she goes over here. As is, I think, Tater, actually. Yeah, Tater will be dead in 5 hours. So everybody else goes over here. Let the fires burn real quick. Everybody back over here. And then shoot this. Alright, the mech cluster buildings have been defeated. So everybody despawns. Not despawns. Becomes undrafted. And next thing they do should put out the fire. Priority is tending to Yoko. Right, and the fires are now out. Alright, Tater's supposed to self-tend, but I'm not entirely certain if he's going to. So I'll turn this one into a medical thing. Alright, and who's the next closest healer? Yoko, who's unconscious. Okay. So of the others, Lincoln is pretty bad at medicine. Stanislav has no skill in medicine. Tato will be dead in 3 hours if he does not tend to his own wounds. Mushunto will be dead in 24. Okay, who else is the doctor? Alright, you tend to him. It's like a random shortbow just sitting there. Sky is no longer confused. Okay. So Tater stops working, and he hops in bed. Sky tends to Tater, because he'll be dead in 3 hours if she doesn't. And because of lack of taming maintenance, Stallion 4 has returned to the wild. See if we can bring that back into the herd. Oh, him back into the herd. Meantime, more pressing concerns of dead body, of people almost dying. So Yoko will still die in 4 hours if she remains untended, but Sky's on it. Jenny is having a food binge, but that's a different camp, so I don't much care right now. And Sky is tending Ophelia. So I think everybody's, well, not going to die. No, Hercules is still injured. Okay. As is Stanislav. Apparently they took some hits at the last minute. So Sky, because she walked about in a daze and didn't fight, doesn't get to rest until everybody is healed. So priority is tending towards Hercules.
and then 10 Stanislav. Okay, so he'll live. No, he won't, because he just got an infection. So Sky gets to... I mean, she's currently tending to Yuko. And now she tends to Lincoln. Alright, so the infection's at 5.9%, and his immunity is at 7. And Yuko has gotten an infection in her leg, and Sky has just decided to become confused. That's an old one. Never mind. Of course, it doesn't help that she's basically lying on the ground covered in blood and puke. Probably does not help the infection chances. Yeah, infection is at 7.1%, and you know what? I'm moving her over here. Not that it can, because she's resting and unconscious. Wow. So, Sky, for some reason or another, has decided to try to break Minoka out of prison. No, we're not shooting Minoka. We're going to punch her. She lost her right middle toe now. Okay, fine. Recapture her. Tend to his own injuries. This guy is no longer hiding in her room. Lincoln's infection is at 28 immunity, and infection's at 18%. Yoko's going to be the problem because her infection's at 15% and her immunity is only at 9%, so there's generally a 6% difference. Something tells me this is going to be another one of those times when the game just decides to... Why is one of my animals starving? Oh yeah, they're still stuck in here. Alright, so that out of the way. Yuko is suffering from an extreme break risk. Sky's off doing her own thing. Sky's asleep. You know, priority is cleaning this area. Just so that way, I doubt it does anything. I mean, her infection's still at a 70% difference from where it was. His infection's going to be fine. It's like a 12% difference between immunity and infection, with the immunity being higher. But Yoko's infection is a 7% difference with infection being higher. So the game's probably going to kill her off, and that ticks me off. But that is going to be another issue for another day, because I'm going to call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.